to the bottom. So I have my bays in, my front bay and my rear bay. A little bit of a hassle getting those in. So going way back to the first video where I talked about the post that goes down the middle of the support, I used a 1 1/8 inch post because that fit best in the holes that were in the supports. If you use a 1 1/8, and I measured this, I don't know what happened, it's of course 1/8 bigger, so you're going to have a little trouble getting the bay in, depth wise. So what I had to do was I had to sand down the top of the bay a little bit and a little bit on the bottom just to kind of work it in there just to get it flush. So it was extra work. In all honesty, it really wasn't a big deal, but you might have more trouble than I did. I don't know. So I would guess that I would have to recommend using the 1 inch post that goes through, the one he recommends in the instructions. Okay, got that out of the way. So the bays are in. They're totally glued in. They're working on the seams around. I may have to build a little wall around here just to make it cleaner. And what I'm doing now is what I was doing on the top previously. I am fixing all my seams. I'm going through the entire bottom and I'm patching up whatever seams I'm finding, whatever irregularities, any holes that shouldn't be there, whatever. Whatever I see that needs to be fixed, that's what I'm doing. So it's just a process. I'm almost done with the top. I'm actually getting there. It's a lot more work than I thought it was going to be to get the buildings straightened out, because the buildings aren't sitting 100% flush. So I had to fill in a little more than I thought I would have to, or else there's going to be light leaks all over the place. So that's getting there. So what the process is with that is I'm filling in some cracks, and then I'm letting that dry, and then I'm painting, and then I'm seeing what's left, and then I'm fixing that, and then I'm painting. So there's some, you know, there's some drying time involved there and everything else. You don't want to rush it because then it's just going to make it worse. So I'm making sure I'm giving my putty enough time to dry, and on my paint, and then I can see what I'm left with, and then fix that. And then when it's perfect, it's perfect. You can't rush it, right? I'll tell you what, who needs a gym membership? Just build a couple of these things and carry them all around the place. This is getting pretty heavy. I think this thing's probably around 25 pounds, 30 pounds at least. I got my bottom straightened out. I got all my seams straightened out and everything. And what I did was paint the bottom. And the base color I used it's a Vallejo color. It's basically it's light gray. So I use that, and then I tried a bunch of different colors for the paneling. Now, if you look at the model used in I think it's Empire Strikes Back, there's some paneling on the Star Destroyers. So I wanted to kind of give it some scale. So I took the basically I picked a couple panels out. They're larger panels that I'm seeing in the pictures. So I taped off a whole bunch of them. I did maybe 5 or 10 at a time. I tried a couple of different colors, but what I ended up doing was taking the base color and lightening it and darkening it, which is probably what I should have done in the first place. So what you're seeing is a variation of the whole color, different shades of it, lightened and darkened. Now, I'm not sure how these are going to show up on camera, but they're pretty subtle. I painted them first, and then what I did was mist coat the entire model with a flat white because I wanted a little bit lighter than the light gray. And what you're seeing is it's not even, so it looks worn. I think it looks pretty good. I can always adjust it if I feel like it, if I'm not liking the look, but I kind of like the way this looks right now. And the white kind of picked up a lot of the details. I'm not planning on doing a wash on this because from what I'm seeing, I don't see a wash on the models. Certainly could for the panel lines, but I don't really like the way that looks, and it's not really what I'm seeing again in the pictures. So that's where I'm at right now. The bottom is pretty much done. I did seal this with a flat clear coat, so it's totally sealed up right now. I can always paint over that. Acrylics, they tend to play really well with the clear coat that I use, so I can always, you know, touch it up, and if I'm not liking the way it looks, I can always adjust it later. So the bottom is getting there. It's almost done. I still have to do the tractor beam emitters that go here and here. They're really small, and I don't want to put those on until practically the model is done because I know I'm going to break them off. And I have to put the hook in here, the crane, which I do have. I'm putting that off as well because I had a little incident with one of my other Star Destroyers where it kind of flew off and I lost it. So again, I'm going to wait until it's almost done to put that stuff on. This is the front section. There's a piece that goes on as like a front cap, and it's going to be really tough to get fiber to it if you install it and then try and drill, because you're going to need like a 3-inch drill bit. So what I did was I hollowed out the inside and I ran all my fiber, and then I drilled a hole here. So you're not going to see any of this, it's going to be covered. So the top piece is going to go on, and then the front cap piece. So I drilled all the way through this. Now I could run my fiber through here and into my light source, and I can attach this. There's a little bit of a gap in there, but I'll fill that in. So there it is, all lit up. Just to give you a better idea of what I'm doing here, I am masking all these panels. This is like a bunch of them that I just painted. So I took the whole color, and I have these small little mixing containers, and I lightened it up, darkened it up. So I have a bunch of different shades going on, and I'm masking off the panels with this is actually and I'm not advertising for anybody, I'm just telling you what I'm using. This is frog tape. I use this stuff all the time. So there's this thickness, which is about 1 inch, and then there's another one which is probably almost 2 inches. I use that stuff all the time. They don't I have to buy this on Amazon because they stopped stocking it at my local hardware store, but this is delicate surface. Frog tape comes in green, I think, and yellow. Yellow's the delicate surface version. This stuff to me is better than Tamiya tape, but I do use Tamiya tape for certain things, especially the curved surface stuff. The white tape, I do use that. I have all different kinds, but this stuff is my standby for something like this. And it's cost effective because it's not that expensive, and it really does well. It doesn't pull up paint, and it keeps edges. See, this is going to come right up. Doesn't pull up any paint. So it works really well for me. But feel free to use whatever tape you are accustomed to using. So as you can see, all my little panels are starting to come out. So I'm going to keep doing this until I think it looks good. I don't want to go overboard with the panels, but I want them to be staggered, so I'm kind of picking and choosing which ones I'm going to paint. Alright, so I got the top done as far as the paneling goes, and it's all kind of subtle paneling. I kind of went over it with paint. So what I'm doing now, since all the painting's primarily done, I'm going through and I'm clipping off my fiber, which is sticking out here. You can see about a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch in some spots. And what I use for that is these are cuticle nippers. These are about $15-20 at the drugstore, and these allow you to get into tight spots. I've seen guys use like fingernail clippers, but these work a lot better. And I'm just clipping off the fiber as soon as it comes out of where it is. Well, I mean, if I have to go in twice, I'll do it twice, but most of the time I can get this stuff clipped off the first shot. And then I'll hit the entire thing with a compressor, with air compressor, just to make sure I get off all that excess fiber that might be laying around. It might get stuck in your paint or your clear coat or whatever you're putting over this. So as you can imagine, this takes a while, but the end result is definitely worth it. I'm trying not to take off any paint, but sometimes you might, so you just need to touch it up. So I have a long way to go. I'll be doing this for a while. Alright, I needed a break from clipping fiber. It's driving me crazy. So this edge right here, I had to fix this. It wasn't lined up right, meaning there were chunks taken out of it from resin, and where the two pieces met, there was a big notch out of here, and overall just didn't line up right. So I took some strip styrene, some really thin styrene rod, and I put pieces here, here, and here, and then I went over it with really thinned out putty. So I thinned out some of this stuff, which is squadron putty, and I went through basically just with my finger, and I kind of ran it along this edge. Now I'm gonna have to clean this up, obviously, but it'll make that edge look a lot cleaner. So that's something I just, cosmetic wise, I needed to fix. I think that's gonna do it for part 5, and I'll come back for part 6, and it's getting close. I think I'll have at least 1 or 2 more parts, more videos to before I finish it. So I will see you for the next part. Thanks.
Take evasive action!